Good morning. You are listening to the Coach's Corner on KYNT. Now, let's go to the voice of the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles, Bryce Ladwig.
Good morning. Welcome to the Coach's Corner, the first of this season. Hope everyone had a great summer. I'm Bryce Ladwig. It's already that time. Talk about fall sports, excluding it today, and I'll explain what I mean by that in just a moment. The fall season will play out. As far as the show goes, as per usual, coaches will be coming in. We'll have pizza from Pizza Ranch available for the coaches. Always appreciate their support. Some coaches that aren't able to make it live will join me prior to the show on the Pizza Ranch phone line. We'll talk about their latest matchups, their upcoming matchups, and storylines that develop throughout the season. Hopefully share a laugh or two. And hopefully we're talking about a bunch of Yankton Bucks and Gazelles victory across all of the fall sports. Pretty much the same cast of characters as far as coaches are concerned. A couple changes. Caitlin Savvy, the new Yankton cross-country coach, and Madeline Wells, the new Yankton competitive cheer coach. Ironically, the two coaches I do not have an interview to listen to today. With all the seasons ramping up and the last pretty much open weekend for most of these coaches, decided to pre-record their conversations, and we'll begin the live show with the coaches next weekend. We'll take our first break and listen to our sponsors, who are also very appreciative of, makes the show possible. We'll be back, and why not start talking with Coach Brady Muth of the Yankton Bucks football program. That's coming up here on the Coach's Corner. Good morning.
The treatment of eye diseases and injuries requires the best technology, along with the newest surgical techniques. So turn to the experts from Avera Medical Group Wilcoxon Eye Associates in Yankton. We are on the forefront of eye care that will allow you to see clearly and with more comfort. Schedule an appointment with us or learn more by visiting avera.org/Wilcoxon.
As a proud community bank, Core Trust delivers more than just checking and savings accounts. We invest in the cities and towns where we live and work by volunteering to coach youth sports teams, supporting local charities and the arts with our time and resources. Whether we live in a rural town in South Dakota or a suburban city in Minnesota, it's a place we call home. Core Trust Bank. Raise your expectations.
Member FDIC.
First Dakota is giving away new Ford F-150s to celebrate 150 years as a South Dakota bank. We owe it to the countless customers who have trusted us with their banking since 1872. And we want to say thanks by giving back. Click the banner to nominate someone you know to win a new Ford pickup, or go to firstdakota.com/150. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk finally Yankton Bucks football. Coach Brady Muth. Coach, obviously we're recording this on Friday, and you'll have the scrimmage tonight, but as this plays, it would have been last night. We'll start with that. Excited for the scrimmage. What does that mean for you and the team? Is it more for people to come watch, or what kind of things are you implementing?
Well, we love the support we get in town and love that people come to show up, watch us play football. But the biggest thing for us is getting some guys on tape that we can see just gives us kind of a final tool to evaluate, to see where guys are at, as far as setting the depth chart to get ready to go into game week. We've had a lot of guys that have put in a lot of hard work, and of course that goes noticed, but the most important thing is what you can do on the field. And so that scrimmage is really, really important for us to give guys an opportunity to go out and ball out a little bit and get it on tape so we can evaluate.
Coach, you've never really been one to talk a lot about last year. You're always moving forward, always like that. But obviously, the way the season ended last year, great semifinal matchup. Did that leave a kind of a taste in the team's mouth still? Do you guys ever talk about that moving forward?
I mean, behind closed doors, it's something that for sure is something that's more than enough motivation. That's one of the benefits of being in a place like Yankton is that the expectations are always very high, and those expectations are just built into the program. And so We don't need any external motivation as far as what happened in a semifinal game from last year, but it would be dishonest of me to tell you that, when you lose in a semifinal game like that, in the way that that game went off, it was a year ago, but it definitely leaves a feeling of unfinished business. And the thing I love about this program is, every year, each class has its opportunity to kind of put their own mark on the program as they're moving into their senior year. And I know these guys that are seniors this year, they're a highly competitive bunch, and they do take things personally a little bit, and that's okay to a certain extent. You have to be emotionally invested to get into a football game to begin with. And so, I'd be lying if I didn't say that last year, with the way the semifinal game played out, that wasn't motivation for us through the off season. But now that the season's here, the really most important thing is our opponent week one, and that's Mitchell.
That was a perfect lead-in, Coach, because what I want to ask you, obviously you lose seniors, everyone does every year, it seems, right? That's how that works. But this program, you always have the next man up, and those guys have been fighting for that opportunity for so long, they'll finally get it. So let's jump in quick 30,000-foot views of all these things. But what can you tell me about special teams this year as far as kicking and punting and all that stuff?
We don't have much turnover in our special teams unit. Trevor Paulson is back this year for his senior year, and he takes care of the kicking and the punting duties for us. And Trevor had a great season for us, a lot of postseason accolades. He was an all-state player. One actually, and this is one thing I really do love about Trevor, was in our school was the National High School Strength and Conditioning Association Athlete of the Year for football in our school. And so to be one of those athletes, I think it says a lot about Trevor and the way he approaches just himself as far as what he's got to do on the football field. Of course, we returned both of our key returners last year in Cody Oswald and Austin Goebel, but there's also some guys that are going to be exciting to see back there too. Carson Ness is a young kid. He's a sophomore who's really caught our eye during the summer and during fall camps. And a guy like Peyton Peterson, who also has had a good off season, is going to have some opportunities back there as well. And so the special teams unit, one thing Coach Kolpitz does, I think he does a great job, is making sure that that's a unit that's built on pride and being on the field to make an impact in special teams. And it's exciting to see some new faces of guys that are going to take hold of those opportunities to get on the field on our special teams unit.
And how about defense, Coach? Who are we going to see flying into the backfield this year?
Yeah, defensively, Charlie Foote is back leading our defense. Last year he was working with Samuel Kamshoff. I thought Samuel did a great job teaching Charlie what it means to be a middle linebacker in our program, and now Chuck's got to be that guy. And so Charlie's leading a bunch of guys that I think we have a very talented linebacking core. You'll see a mix of them, but names like Shaler Platt, Jace McCorkle, Gavin Swanson, some newer guys like Matthew Sheldon will be in there, AC Martz. So we've got a good group of linebackers that we can rotate. Charlie will be the guy that will be on the field, as close to 100% of the time. But some great opportunities for some really athletic, tough-nosed linebackers. Those guys obviously work in tandem with what's in front of them and what's behind them. In front of them, you'll see Kaysen Storr back. This will be Kaysen's third year. Kaysen will start on the offensive line for us, too. Offensive line, though, I think between Coach Olson and Coach Schwach, they do such a good job of making sure that we get the right sub-package in, and we really rotate our defensive line. To say that we have a clear-cut starting unit on our defensive line, we'll roll out 3-4 guys that will be introduced in the starting lineup, but really it's a rotation thing, and that's the way we handle that. Luke Bernardo is a guy that had a lot of success last year as a junior. He'll be starting at one defensive tackle, defensive end spot, and then there's really a handful of guys that are going to have some real opportunities there that we'll see in that rotation. Caden Wawrinick is one of those guys. Vaden Greil is one of those guys. And I don't want to get into too much with depth chart stuff and name stuff, but there's just some really exciting players that have made a really, really good push to get some time in the defensive line, and it has been an exciting unit throughout fall camp just to see those guys. The trick, obviously, is the way we're built, just to try to keep those guys fresh on an opportunity that's going to be there. It is ample. It's just going to be who's going to compete to take control of most of those reps when we get into a Friday night. In the defensive backfield, Mac Reichen and Cooper Grotenheis will be back at our corners, but we get Rainer Roig back from injury, who was starting at corner last year, and then Cooper Grotenheis stepped in and did a fantastic job. But now Rainer is back and healthy, and so we've got, between those three guys, we've got kind of a nice rotation at corner. Rainer has been repping a little bit at the safety spot just because he's a little bit longer, and it's a good fit for him. You'll see Tyler Soler in the defensive backfield. Carson Ness is another guy that's had a really good offseason, and he'll make a splash a little bit in the defensive backfield. We've also had some guys that have been really hard workers that have been pleasant surprises. Donald Rounds is one of those guys. He's added about 20 pounds to his frame, and he's grown a bit too. And so, I think with a guy like Donald, you see a kid that has really bought into our off-season program and has really kind of changed his body to make himself give himself an opportunity to get on the field Friday night. And then obviously Tyler Soler will be back there taking reps again at the safety spot. And then obviously Cody Oswald, who's a returning player for us. This will be his third year starting in the defensive backfield. And Cody's got postseason accolades, all conference, all state accolades. And so Cody obviously is the exciting guy back there. And Cody will be moved around quite a bit in our defense this year, just trying to maximize his athleticism to make sure he can make the biggest impact on the defensive side of the ball.
And then, Coach, on offense, there's some big receiving targets that have graduated. I want to talk about that side.
Yeah, we graduated both of our tight ends, and Max Robb at H-back, and then Jaden Kroll at our Y spot. But we've got some really exciting guys that are filling in those roles. Tucker Gilmore has really emerged as a guy that will be that Y. But another guy is Frankie Enfield, who's a big body and has had a really great offseason, and really in camp was a really exciting player throughout camp. Really happy for Frank and all the hard work that he's put in, coming back from an injury and progressing through our offseason program and really turning himself into a threat at the tight end spot. In the H-back spot, we've got a handful of guys that can go in there. Jace McCorkle has been repping there. He's a senior. Another guy that we're really excited about at the H-back spot is Matthew Sheldon. Matt in track last year threw the shot 45 feet just for fun. We put him on the quarter, and he ran a 55 quarter just to see what he could run. And so really athletic, young, powerful, smart football player who's got a shot to crack the starting lineup at that H-back position. And then graduated Cam Zarbach as well on the perimeter. Now, we return an awful lot with our perimeter players, with our receiving core. So Cody Oswald, who played halftime on offense, will take over a complete starting role at the X spot where Cam left. And then Tyler Soler is the guy that really has been the steady presence. Tyler has started since he's a freshman and had a little bit of an injury that we dealt with through fall camp. Nothing real big, but we did limit his touches just to keep him healthy so we get to game week. And, Tyler is one of those guys that has played so long when he was out of contact situations in practice. To watch him coach some of these young up-and-comer slot receivers that we have in our program, like Peyton Peterson, like a Connor Slava. It's just been fun to see him work with those guys. And then at the Z spot, we've got Austin Goebel, who's, I'm sure if you paid attention to the track season, is a really, really fast kid. He is definitely a deep threat. Every time he touches the ball, there's an opportunity to score points. And so we're really, really excited about our perimeter and with the guys that are coming back, but also some of the new guys too. In our tailback spot, we have Gavin Swanson back, and Swanee, I think last year, he's a very talented guy. I know he didn't finish the year maybe statistically where he wanted it to. It was fun to see him in the off season. He's a driven young man. And in the track season, really, really competitive kid. He's the kind of guy you want on your team. One thing he would have told you last year was he maybe needed a little bit more breakaway speed, worked all spring to get faster and did just that. I mean, kept weight on and got faster. And so you're going to see a new and improved version of Gavin Swanson in the backfield. Shaler Platt, who had a great JV season with us, will be taking some carries there. The way we kind of run our running back spot is we do have a clear-cut number one, and that guy goes until he can't anymore, and then the number two goes on, but that number two has to behave just as if he was a number one, and that's Shaler Platt to a T. Shaler's going to come in, he's going to get some carries, and he's going to make some splashes for us. And then, we've been pretty fortunate throughout. This is my fifth year running the program, but in all of those years, we've always had a really good kind of change of pace back. That guy this year that we're looking that's going to be that change of pace back is Evan Sirk. Sirk is a guy, he's maybe not built as big as Swanee and as Shaler. Those two guys are both big guys, close to 6 foot, 190, 195 pounds, and they're fast. But Sirk is a nice little changeup. He's a little bit shorter, weighs about 160 pounds, but he's thick. He's put together, sits real low to the ground, and he gets up to top speed real quick. And so another guy out of the backfield that we can use as a change of pace is really good at catching the football. We can line him up in a slot. And so Evan will be that guy that's kind of a change of pace back for us. So we've got 3 real solid backs. Matthew Sheldon is another guy we can pop under center, and we can put in a true fullback. He can put his hand in the ground and get 2 tough yards for us as well. And so we've got a nice stable of running backs back there for us in our run game.
All right, Coach, then we'll wrap up with, I was listening to you at the fall banquet, and some coaching changes. I want you to do a quick staff overview for us.
Yeah, so Randy Gross retired, and we're going to miss Coach Gross. He was really a calming presence, especially for me. I get to be a little high-strung during football games, and to have a guy like Randy Gross on the other end of the headsets is always nice to be able to ask questions. What would you do in this situation? And he typically has got the right response because it's a calm and it's a calculated response. But we move up Matt Decker from the freshman spot. Brady Hale will go over and start working with quarterbacks. This year, Matt Decker will take over the receiving duties. And then Dan Schwach, who was at the middle school level last year, has moved into the freshman level. And so we've had some faces change, but they're faces that have been in the program. And so no real wholesale name changes, just maybe changing a little bit of who's doing what as far as duties are concerned. I would say that's the thing I really love about our staff is that we don't have a whole lot of turnover on our football staff, and we've got some really talented guys that know what they're doing as far as the game of football is concerned and coaching young men. And so just excited to see some guys in maybe new roles, but they've done a heck of a job throughout the summer and throughout camp.
All right. Well, Coach, I'm looking forward to this season, how it all is going to play out. It's fall season when it just sneaks up on you, is what I'm saying. It just seems like it was just yesterday we were talking about this, but we'll be talking every Saturday, and I always appreciate the time.
All right. Thanks. Nice talking to you, Bryce.
Let's Coach Brady Muth, Yankton Bucks football. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? At First Chiropractic Centers, we have been helping people get back into their game for nearly 40 years. Whether your game is sports-related, or it looks more like gardening, household chores, exercising, or just daily life, if your pain is preventing you from enjoying or participating in your chosen activity, we can help. First Chiropractic Centers, whole health with hands-on healing, with offices in Yankton, Scotland, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner.
It's time for a new kind of credit card. One that's with you where you are, wherever life leads. The Evergreen credit card by Fnbo earns you unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase, every day, every step of the way. For important information and limitations regarding the rewards program, visit fnbo.com/evergreen for complete details. From the great big small bank, ever ready for you to earn more so you can do more. Only with Evergreen by Fnbo. Learn more today at fnbo.com/evergreen.
Support a local business that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts for Yankton's largest employers, Triple Time Rudy's. At Triple Time Rudy's, you get that local friendly feel and also a unique offering of products. You'll find quality South Dakota products like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers, plus quality fuel products too. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway for your daily fill-ups and convenience needs. Pull in to Triple Time Rudy's today.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's jump right into Yankton Gazelles volleyball. The Gazelles coming off a very nice season last year, highly improved each year. All years I've been covering Yankton volleyball, they've gotten better and better, and last year no exception. Being joined by head coach Chelsea Law. Coach, congratulations again on last season, but how fast things turn. We're already looking forward to the new season. First thing I'll ask you, though, was last year a welcome breath of fresh air for the Gazelles volleyball program?
Yeah, thank you. It was, it's good to be a part of volleyball, getting kind of back in the whole coaching game of things. Like you said, it's my third year with the program, and just, great things, going in good direction, good momentum. Anytime you finish a year on a high note like that, I'm a big reflection person, goal setting. You think about, what did we do really well last year? What are some things that maybe we don't want to do and change, and just keep the momentum going in that direction. Great finish. Anytime you can have a 500 year where you hadn't been having those types of seasons, it just adds on for this year. You're ready for that. You want it again. You want to be a part of that and keep it going.
And you were talking at the fall banquet and just kind of the attitude of, well, at the end of the day, everyone's goal is a state title. I mean, obviously, but the fact that you set your expectations for building the program, you set your realistic goals even at 500, that's just a huge accomplishment considering the trajectory this team has been on in a positive way the last few years. You also had multiple players on ESD team, or all ESD, I should say. That's an accomplishment on itself. But that brings us right into the newest challenge. It's also an exciting challenge on my end, though, but no seniors. Zero seniors on the team, but you said junior strong. I'll let you run with that.
Yeah. They are, we're junior strong. When I also want to say, we finished third in the ESD as well. So when you're finished on the top part of the ESD mark, that's another just all good markers of things that are really great for Gazelle volleyball. When you're senior heavy one year, you're probably not going to be senior heavy the next year. I mean, typically, but every now and then it might not happen, right? So we have a lot of juniors, so we're primarily our starters are going to be juniors. We do have one sophomore. What's nice about this, so it looks like we're young. A lot of times people will say, oh, we're in transition year, we're young. But yes, they're young, but we are returning 3 starters, and you have some pretty big, heavy, stressful positions like, libero, your setter. There's a lot of responsibility that come with those too. I always kind of tell them that, your job is a kind of a thankless job, right? People expect you to go all the time, get that ball, go, go, go. And they don't always, 100% all the time. And all they sometimes unfortunately see is mistakes, right? It's a heavy, big position, but we have those 2 spots coming back as starters. And then we have another, hitter. So 3 returning starters, their experience. And we want their experience with, Gazelle volleyball, with the club ball that they play to kind of lead us into, the season again.
And Coach, without a senior night, so to speak, are we doing a theme night? Are we doing a pizza party? What's going on? We need to talk to Ryan Morris about getting some kind of theme night going.
Got to get something going on. I agree, right?
80s night at the summit.
Night and another junior night part 2. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Coach, tell me a bit about the staff and just the makeup of the team in general. What are we looking for from someone that's time goes by, right? Everyone loved watching the Gazelles volleyball, but then time goes by and you start to forget some things, and then you kind of get instantly reminded, like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. So a little bit about the makeup of the team, but also kind of the sub-varsity. What are we looking forward to in the next few years?
Sure, right. The one thing is when you're kind of like you said, essentially building a program, moving it towards that positive direction, is you want numbers, right? You want to have 9 through 12, you want 40, 50, 55 people to come out, right? So you have the numbers, and we're seeing that, right? We have, like you said, we're junior strong, about 15 juniors. Half are going to be our varsity people, other half around JV. We have good numbers, sophomores, 10 to 12 people. Freshmen, I think, around that 18 mark. So you're able to fill that freshman A, freshman B. So that's a good thing that we're seeing, is that numbers of people are coming out. We want people to play volleyball, right? Yes, competitively, yes, all those things, but overall in general, I do believe that volleyball is one of those sports. It's a lifelong thing, even at, I won't say my age, but I still play volleyball. I play softball, I play golf, and what's cool about volleyball, it's one of those sports, right? So numbers-wise, moving in a great direction. As far as our players, this year, like I said, 3 returning starters. So we have Camille McDermott as our setter, Peyton Mosier's our libero, Macy Drotzman, all sophomore playing time, letters, starters. That's them. They got good resumes behind them, right? Macy played middle hitter last year. She's actually going to be moving to an outside spot. Her defense is really, and her serve receive has come along nicely. And they're all, aggressive volleyball players. Those are the 3 returning starters. We have now Olivia Dimmer she's a sophomore, but she's going to fulfill one of those big middle spots. We have Cam Klutzy, who's going to be another outside hitter. Ava Collar's going to be opposite Camille. She'll be playing some right side, and then we'll utilize Bryn Kenny as another middle. If you watched any JV last year, Bryn middle, she is tall, she's long, she can jump high. We're going to utilize all that middle aspects of things to work on blocks. And then Bailey LaCroix will see some kind of defensive type positions. We're fulfilling her wherever we need for her as far as defense. Returning coach staff, right? What's great too is that, when everybody starts, everybody comes the next year. So I'm year 3 in, and now we got nobody left. We're all here. Heidi Savvy coaching JV, Coach Hale, Leslie Hill coaching sophomores, Kelly Hyder coaching freshmen. We're all here for round 2, and we are excited. So it's fun to be, coaching. You go, great, and you drive together. But when you go and you coach with people that you truly enjoy being around, I think that just shows with your program as well that are just really good people to be around.
No, very exciting. Coach O'Gorman on the 23rd at O'Gorman, 7 p.m. Start. Obviously, you're going to have to face all these teams eventually, and you welcome it because I know that you're a very competitive team, but that's a tough draw as a first game.
And it's like if you're going to play competition, they want it right away in your season, right? The stronger competition you have at the beginning of your season, the better it's going to pay off for you in the end because you're ready for that high-caliber competition. O'Gorman, Sioux Falls of the world, they're going to be strong teams, right? It's bigger, right? So we're going to play them, and we always want to play them because we are competitive. I kind of said at that fall welcome kickoff night, if you haven't been to watch the girls play, I kind of challenge you to come watch. It's competitive. They're fun to watch. They're going to go. They want to play. Even if you're taking teams 4 to 5 games, you're watching still fun volleyball. We took a lot of teams to 5 games. Sometimes it went our way last year. Sometimes it did not, but you're playing competitive volleyball, and it's just great to watch. So that's what we want to have happen. We have O'Gorman first match. We go there. Our first home match is against Dakota Valley. Another, they're Class A, but another really good, strong team that you just want to play because you're going to see good volleyball.
Well, very excited for the season, Coach, and we'll be covering on KYN TV. Most of the games we're picking up are in the latter half of the year, just how the calendar worked out. But looking forward to that and keeping track all season long, talking to you every weekend on the Coach's Corner. Coach, welcome back to the sports season. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That was Coach Chelsea Law, Yankton Gazelles Volleyball. Take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh is the stop to make any time of the day. Enjoy breakfast items, made-to-order sandwiches, burgers, and more from the Hy-Vee Market Grill. Daily $5 meal specials are from 11 to 7, and find convenient on-the-go meal offerings and select grocery staples, including fresh produce and fresh bakery items, too. There's something for everyone at Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh of Yankton.
Shop Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every eye.
Education. That is one of our core values here at Missouri River Associates. Just making a sale is not our number one priority here. Our office is here to educate you on your choices in the insurance world. We are here to guide you in making the right choice for you, your family, or your business. Our agents are honest and transparent with you on your coverages. Let one of our agents show you your options today. Missouri River Associates, 665-6885.
In the lab or up on stage, Mount Marty University has a place for you. From athletes and artists to academics and alumni, together we cheer each other on and work to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Show your spirit at a university that celebrates what makes us different. Schedule a tour at Mount Marty University by visiting mountmarty.edu or calling 605-668-1545.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk Yankton Bucks soccer with Coach Dave Dannybring. Coach, first of all, welcome back to the fall season.
Well, it's hard to believe that we've come full circle. Season starts, and we're back at it, but it's a lot of fun.
And unfortunately, the season has already started. We haven't been able to talk to you beforehand. We're already, 3 games in, and man, a lot to cover already. But first of all, Coach, obviously coming off a state title a year ago, a lot of that team has moved on to the next phase of their lives, and that's always interesting to look at the next team after that follows. A lot of these guys were a part of that success, and a lot of guys getting their first time to really step up into the varsity level. How was that, balancing that as a coach?
Well, one, you have to realize the honeymoon is over from last year, and it's hard to win a championship, but it's hard to repeat as a champion. And so we're at that point where we are doing some experimenting and working our way through with new players and some of the old players from last year in maybe a few different roles. And one of those roles is them being the go-to guy. You know, there was a lot of these guys that are on the field this year that they played some last year, but they were in a reserve role. And now they've got the pressure that, you know, they're the seniors or the juniors or even some sophomores that, you know, it's their team now, and we have to make our own success. And, you know, we're going to take some lumps because it's a new team. And once again, I'm experimenting a little bit with our personnel and getting to know them a little bit and looking at our formation on, do we have the talent in certain areas? And if we do, who do we need to move around, and how can we make it so the second half of the regular season, we just keep getting better, and then we get to the playoffs, and it's a whole new ball game. So everything that we're doing is building towards becoming the best that we can be on the start of the playoffs.
No, every coach I've ever talked to always will say the same thing. There's no such thing as a good loss, because a loss is a loss. However, it seems to get versus Harrisburg and then on Thursday versus Watertown that there were some good lessons to be taken from those games. Am I right about that?
Well, we're going to go back to the Lincoln game because that was way more fun because we got to experience the thrill of victory and the beauty of sport when you go into a game and you know that you're playing a good quality program. The hard part is you don't know where you stand because it's our first game, and so there's those jitters. I think there's a little bit more expectation, so you step up your game, and we definitely did that. And all of a sudden we come out with a win, beating Lincoln, and that was a big win for our program. And then we go to Harrisburg on Tuesday, and it's a hard part with sports because you see a team and you think, well, we should probably beat them, and it's really hard not to come in with a bad mentality. And we started that game off really flat. They did a good job, I think, and out-strategized me in that they ran this offside trap and they ran it to perfection, and we just had a bunch of offside calls, and then we got frustrated, and then I didn't remember Brookings' game from 2 years ago where the same thing happened, and us make the right adjustments, and then also we just couldn't punch a goal in where we had a lot of opportunities to tie it up and then take the lead, but we just never could finish. And so, you know, sometimes a team needs some humble pie, and we definitely ate a big slice of that, and we talked about it and said this is what we need to work on, and we came out Thursday against Watertown and did a lot of things really well. I didn't want to lose. All of a sudden we scored first and we moved the ball well, had a great shot. We finished and thought, oh man, we've done a great thing. And then all of a sudden they kick in a couple of goals, and I thought we had some major breakdowns. And then I watched the film and thought, well, we didn't have as many breakdowns defensively as I thought. I thought we did a lot of things really well, like I've already said, and our players improved in so many areas, and it was really encouraging. And where I started this conversation was we've got some experimenting. We played some young kids up there that are just good ball handlers. They see the field well, and I've got to give everybody a chance and see who can really rise to the occasion and who are the guys that we're going to rely on. And, it was a loss, but I didn't feel so bad about it because we continually improved the things that we got beat doing. I think we can improve on those, and now we just keep pressing forward.
And, Coach, we'll have the rest of the year to look at the roster top to bottom and maybe some changes, who knows. But I want you to highlight just your seniors. Who is the senior squad this season?
Well, we've got a goalie, Luke Abbott, that he hasn't played soccer in a few years, but he's a hockey player, and he came out, and he's right now on the JV, but he's learning. And so we're glad to have him. We've got Braylon Beats and Brady Blum. They're playing up top for us, and, they got a lot of time last year. We've got Sam Huber and Drew Newman. They're out on the wings. And, again, Drew didn't get a lot of varsity time last year, but Sam Huber's a good, quick wing for us. And so, we're happy to have some of his experience. We've got Caleb Swihart, who plays in the middle, and he's been a pretty good sub for us. He's really a go-getter and really works hard back there. We've got Lance Donner. He's also been a sub here the last few games, playing one of our striker positions, and man, he had a man play against Watertown, so it's great to see him develop and keep getting better. We have Riker Hines playing defense, where he's grown a lot and has really tried to step up his game. Colton Griffin is another defender for us, who I think is probably the fastest kid on the field, and got the coolest big afro hair that is fun to watch flow when he gets that speed going, and he's really improved. And so we've got a great crew. I think that's all the seniors that we have. And, we've got some juniors out on the field, and we've got a couple of sophomores. And like last night, we ended the game with 5 freshmen out there that they can play. And so we have some depth, and we're just trying to find how we can put it all together and what's going to be the best way for us to continue throughout the season.
Then you have West Central Monday, and we'll wish you the best of luck in that matchup. Hopefully bring home a victory. And, Coach, ahead of time, I want to say thanks for joining us each weekend. I know that next Saturday, you'll be busy, playing soccer at Crane, so I'll be doing the show, but we'll catch up with you in the post game after that matchup. Sound good?
That sounds good. We'll do some talking, and thank you guys for putting it on or recording it, and your commentary. It sure makes it nice. It makes it nice for our kids and other people to be able to see Yankton soccer and get some feedback right away after the game. So we really appreciate what you guys do.
Well, appreciate you saying that, Coach. Thanks, and good luck.
All right. Thank you, Bryce.
That's Coach Dave Dannenbring, Yankton Bucks Soccer. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MTRC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
The warmer months can be wonderful times that allow for plenty of fun outdoors. However, while you may be enjoying the outside time, pests and insects may be trying to find their way inside. Eliminating a pest infestation and ensuring they don't return can be tough to do on your own, but with Olson's Pest Technicians by your side, you can rest assured you're fully protected. Locally owned and operated since 1966, Olson's Pest Technicians provides reliable pest control services to residential and commercial properties. Visit 800KILBugs.com.
Bring the crew to Pete's Ranch in Yankton. This is Annie, and we have legendary pizza and chicken just waiting for you on our buffet. Let us know what you're craving, and we'll make it fresh and bring you the first slice. Or let us deliver right to your front door. Your locally owned Yankton Pizza Ranch on Broadway, 665-1222.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
Hey, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This clip was taken from the post-game of Yankton Gazelles' loss to Watertown on Thursday evening.
Tough loss. A game that we thought we were going to go out and be able to get. So right now, just a little frustrated with the way we played the second half, but we got to clean some things up there.
Yeah, a much improved performance from Tuesday, especially on the offensive end. Spent a lot more time down there and forced things offensively. Maybe not able to capitalize on certain opportunities, but what was the difference in that from Tuesday to today?
I thought the midfield did a better job bringing the ball up, working some combinations through the midfield, but also up the sidelines. We were able to create some wall passes and get through them. We got into the attacking half quite a bit, attacking third. Even just outside the 18, but then we kind of stalled once again. We're trying to be a little too perfect with our passes instead of seeing the goal and firing. Where we're trying to make one too many passes at times or one too many touches when we're dribbling. So we've got to clean some of that stuff up. We got to take advantage a little bit more when we get that deep in the attack.
Yeah, and mentioned maybe a couple extra passes than need be. Is that what you'd like to see improved on the offensive end going into your next match?
Definitely. We need to get more shots on goal. We need to create more opportunities. Again, possession wasn't too bad tonight. Where we were really getting hurt is on the counterattack. They would win the ball, and they were playing, frankly, a lot of boot ball, a lot of route one. There was a lot of recovery running by our defense, and at times we weren't communicating as well as we should back there, and we had two players step into a player and nobody dropping and covering, and kind of got us in trouble at times.
Yeah, and that goal from Eden in the second half, late there with about 2 minutes left. Can you just tell me about that play and about Eden as a player?
Well, Eden's an 8th grader. She got some playing time last year. She's going to be a solid player for the next 5 years for us. She's extremely composed on the ball, especially at the varsity level for her age. So, she's definitely an asset to have out there in the midfield. One thing, I keep telling her, she's got to shoot. She found herself at the top of the 18, beat a player 1v1, but then again, she's one of those that's continually trying to make that extra pass that she doesn't need to. And, we see what happens when she lines it up, and we just need to get that a little bit more out of that from her.
And finally, West Central on Monday. What can you expect in that match?
West Central's going to be a good team. 6 of the last 7 Class A titles. They're going to be very competitive. They're going to be well organized. They have a coach that's been there for a number of years. So we're going to expect a really tough game out of that.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time tonight, Coach. It's really appreciated.
Thank you, guys.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please pull forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are, so they can help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411 today to learn more. Are you looking to get your career moving? Then Truxedo Bed Covers is looking for you. Truxedo of Yankton has immediate openings for first, second, and third shifts and offers weekly pay, full benefits package with paid time off, paid holidays, a team-oriented atmosphere, climate-controlled work environment, and pay starting at $19.75 an hour. If you're ready to join the Truxedo team, visit truxedo.com/careers and apply today. Truxedo is a real truck company and equal opportunity employer.
There are a lot of benefits for your small business when you have a relationship with your locally owned and operated The UPS Store. I'm Doug Frederick, manager of the UPS Store of Yankton. Not only do we provide excellent customer service, but we also provide the necessary tools to help your small business thrive. We can help you with everything ing, printing, packing, copying, faxing, freighting, any ing your small business needs, even shredding, notarizing, mailboxing. Every ing for your small business, and of course, shipping. The UPS Store of Yankton, across from Walmart.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Louderg. Let's talk Yankton Bucks golf. Being joined by Coach Brett Syme. Coach, obviously, you are the head coach of a sport that doesn't just hit the ground running. It seems like you guys begin in the summer, and then just the fall has to catch up to you. You already have an outing under your belt, finishing 10th at the Warrior Links Invite. So open-ended question. Let's just get it started. Let's talk about the team first, and then your first result.
Yeah, well, we got 23 golfers participating this season. Good mix of different grade levels. We got 3 seniors, 7 juniors, a couple of sophomores, 4 freshmen, and 7 eighth graders. So, a good mix of older kids and younger kids. Maybe not quite as experienced as we've been in the past, but, it's maybe a little bit different team, but we're going to look at trying to improve throughout the year. You mentioned that we had a 10th place finish. We can talk about that here in a minute. But, the big thing is trying to improve throughout the year and try and maybe get a little bit more competitive. And, with some of these kids that maybe haven't had a ton of experience, it might take them a couple of tournaments to kind of, we'll just say, get their tournament legs under them. And, when you're not used to playing in tournaments, the extra pressure and things like that can kind of weigh on you. And we saw where we're at after the first match, and we're gonna work hard at trying to make ourselves better.
Yeah, and you really just started the season off quite fast. How much practice time did you guys have together as a unit before you went out for that first invite?
Well, basically, we started last week on August 8th with a meeting. Got to meet all the kids and go over a few things, go over some rule stuff. So maybe some of the less experienced kids, at least hear the rules if they haven't played a ton of golf. And, it's kind of overwhelming for some of them because there's a ton of rules in golf. But then we start out right away. I figure if they're trying to compete or if they're looking to compete at the high school level and we have a season that starts in, August, they should have been playing golf all summer trying to prepare for at least a little bit, trying to keep themselves ready and going. But I know a few of them, they come in having not played a lot of golf, but we had a lot of kids that played quite a bit of golf too. So, we had tryouts that first week. Basically, we call them our qualifying rounds, and that helps us pick our team that gets to go to that first tournament, the Warrior Links Invite. And we were lucky enough to also have a JV middle school tournament on Tuesday. It helped us pick the teams or the golfers that got to go to that also. So we had basically 1 week of practice, tryouts or whatever, and then right into our meet schedule. And it's kind of fast, it's kind of furious, but I think it's the right way to do things in the fall. Like I said, the ones that are serious about it, they're playing golf all summer long and should be getting ready for that, right out of the chute.
And then you have a pier at the Hillsview Golf Course. My favorite question to ask you, Coach, is always, how does the course play with the team? And I think your answer really doesn't change, but I'll ask you again because I've asked you about this course before. How does this course play with the Bucks historically?
Well, it'll be interesting to see. I didn't get a chance to really talk about that Warrior Links Invite. Let me just mention that really quick. We did end up 10th out of 16 teams, but I did see a lot of good things while we were playing. I also saw a lot of things that we need to work on. We need to cut down on our big numbers. We have some triple bogeys or worse that are really hurting us. But we did have some good individual efforts. Easton Bellick broke into the top 20. He was tied for 19th, shot 80-78. Dawson Bellick, his brother, he had a little bit of trouble on the first day in Brandon, but shot 85, came back with an 80 the next day at Willow. So he was, in the top 40, top half of the tournament. Henry Homestead also was. He went 85-81. All three of those guys counted both days for us. And then we had Miles Kraske, who shot 85, counted for us first day. He shot 86 the second day. And then Parker Riley shot 90 the first day and 84 counting for us the second day at Willow Run. So, we had 5 different guys contribute for us. And so it was good to get a tournament under our belt and see where we stood. And, it's going to be interesting as we go forward to see how we can improve. And, hopefully we can, move up the ranks a little bit, climb the ladder, as you can say, and hopefully by towards the end of the season, we can be competing at a little bit higher level. But you talked about Pier. It's a good question. I think the three guys that are returning letter winners for us, the two Bellicks and Henry, I think they can play pretty well there. It's not a super long course. It's kind of open. It's not super difficult. But if you put it in the wrong places and if you get greedy and, try to get too much out of the course, it can jump up and bite you too. It's going to be an important tournament for us because ESD is going to be here later in the year. So it's going to be good to go up and get a competition on that course. We'll also be taking Miles Krafsky and Parker Riley, the other two that counted for us that day. And then, we're having a playoff right now to decide who's going to be going with us on Tuesday for that number 6 player. So, we're still trying to look and see how our team is going to shape up. But again, our whole deal is we just need to try to improve so that when we get to those bigger tournaments down the road that we can maybe compete at a higher level.
Well, Coach, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that the fall season is already underway for most sports, and I look forward to talking to you each weekend and catching up with Bucks Golf. Appreciate you taking the time today as well, and we'll welcome back to the fall, Coach.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bryce, and we'll look forward to talking to you each week.
That was Coach Brett Syme, Yankton Bucks Golf, join us. Always appreciate his time. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Buying or selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you may make in your lifetime. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and I'm ready to help guide you with professional advice from before the listing until after the close. Not only will you get real estate knowledge, but also we provide moving boxes and an enclosed courtesy trailer to help make the move just a little easier. Call me today at 664-5555.
At Yankton Medical Clinic PC, our patients are satisfied. With a Google rating of 4.9 out of a possible 5.0, we appreciate our patients sharing their positive thoughts about our practice. We strive to provide patients an outstanding experience and appreciate 5-star reviews. Learn more about our providers and services at yanktonmedicalclinic.com and call to schedule your appointment today, 665-7841. Yankton Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
Hey, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk Yankton Gazelles tennis for the first time this season. Being joined by Coach Vanessa Rockney. Coach, 4-0 to begin the season, and I'm thinking undefeated the rest of the way, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. How you doing?
I do love the sounds of that. I'm great. How are you, Bryce?
I am doing it just fine. I think you would love an undefeated season, right? No pressure.
No, not at all.
No, that is an excellent start. Obviously, you love to see that from your team. It must be nice to get some victories kind of out of the way and just a great way to start a new campaign, right?
Absolutely. I agree. With those 4 matches, it's a nice way to ease into the season because, they're not overly competitive, but they're not, it's still a challenge for us. It's a good place to kind of see where we're at, get a feel for things, and then gradually get more competitive as the season goes on.
Coach, what can you tell me about this year's team versus last year's state runner-up squad? Obviously, that was a very successful season. And how many girls did you lose to graduation, and then kind of who's stepping up into the new leadership role? Just kind of give us a 30,000-foot view.
Yeah, so last year we had 7 girls on our varsity lineup, and we lost 2 seniors. So we returned 5 girls this year, which is awesome because essentially, we have to fill one single spot and then a double spot. So it's almost ideal for a coach. But again, with that being said, Like, it's, who's going to step up and fill that position. So, but as far as our lineup and our returners, all of those girls were state place winners, and we are returning Nora Krafsky, who was our Flight 2 singles champ last year, and she's stepping into the 1 role. And then her sister Sabrina Krafsky is going to step in at Flight 2 for us, also a state champ last year. And then at Flight 3, we have another freshman, Paige Mitzel, who was a state runner-up last year. Flight 4, we have our senior, Franny Corey, who was a 5th place state place finisher last year. Flight 5, we're still kind of tossing that up, but we're expecting Addison Gordon to step into that, and she was a 5th place state place finisher last year. She had a bit of a concussion earlier the start of this season, but we're confident that she's going to be ready to rock and roll as the season develops. And then our 6th spot, we're kind of looking to see who's going to fill that one. And so far for contention, I've had freshman Megan Scott as well as an 8th grader, Kara Kerner, step up, and we're kind of juggling them around to see how they adapt and who fits best where. And so it's really exciting, and I'm fortunate because with those girls, those 5 that are returning, this is their 3rd year of experience, of varsity experience, with the exception of Paige. She's going on her 2nd year of varsity experience. So they know what to expect. They know my expectations, and they're a competitive group. Franny being the only senior on that varsity squad, she's very aware that the girls are going to look to her as far as, like, how do we handle ourselves when adversity comes upon us, and just being open and welcoming to all the new girls that we have on the squad this year. And then also, my the Krafsky girls as well, with all the time that they put in on the court and just that competitive drive that they bring to the team. I'm very confident that I'm going to have girls step up when we need to for leadership, and it's going to be a great season.
And we are pre-recording this because as this plays on Saturday, the team will be in the midst of a triangular at the SAC tennis courts here in Yankton versus Rapid Stevens and Watertown. 2 tough squads, Coach. And how do you feel about those matchups?
I think this is going to be a good meet to see that, like, where we're at as far as some of the best competition in the state, because we got bumped up to Class AA, which is awesome because I think our program can definitely compete in that class. And Stevens is going to be one of the top teams this year in the state, and Watertown is going to be one of the top teams, not just in the state, but also in our conference. So this is going to be a really good meet to see, like, where our girls stand and, what we can work on going forward.
Well, I look forward to seeing those results and talking to you all about them next weekend. Coach, as always, thanks for joining us. Welcome back to sports here in the fall.
Good to be back. Thanks, Bryce.
That's Coach Vanessa Rockney, Yankton girls tennis. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Kids seem to always be misplacing things. Socks, shoes, backpacks, books, you name it. So when it comes to important things like EpiPens for serious allergies or inhalers for breathing problems, make sure there's always some on hand when those items go missing or run out. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall. We pride ourselves on providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health attributes to good students. Yankton Rexall, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, located in the Meridian District.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk Yankton competitive dance with our favorite competitive dance coach, Stacy Reichen. Coach, how we doing?
I'm doing great.
First of all, welcome back to sports in general. How was your summer? And most importantly, how has practice been thus far? I know that late in the summer, if I'm correct, you kind of begin meeting with the girls and start getting things implemented and get these dances kind of installed, right?
Yep. So we started practice August 1st, and the girls learn their dances over the summer in June. And so when we get together in August, it's time to get things cleaned and get things reworked if we need to, a couple of little areas that might need to change. So we've been working hard for 2 weeks now.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing how those all pan out. And we'll jump right into when people can see those pan out. Obviously, if you travel on the road to support the Yankton Gazelles, it's always important. But 2 home meets. You have your ESD meet. That is on October 13th. And then earlier in the season, September 8th, you have the Invitational at Yankton. So 2 really excellent opportunities for people to come out and see the Gazelles.
Yeah, so our home meet is on Thursday, September 8th. That'll be when we honor our seniors. This year we have 4 senior dancers and 1 senior manager, so we'll have senior night on the 8th, and that begins at 5 o'clock at the high school gym. And then, like you said, the ESD meet is home this year, so that's so much fun for us. We're so looking forward to hosting that tournament, and that's on Thursday, October 13th. Again at 5 o'clock in the high school gym.
And, Coach, let's jump into the makeup of this year's squad. Obviously, you lose some leadership when seniors go, but it gives opportunity for others to step up. Just kind of 30,000-foot view. Why don't you give us a little bit of an overview of the team?
Yep. So, like I said, we have 4 senior dancers. And then this year, my big group, my 8, they are now juniors. And we gained another girl that's a sophomore now, so we have 4 sophomores. All 3 that were freshmen came again this year, and we added 1 to that mix. And then we added in 5 incoming freshmen. So we got 6 new people on the team. They've been working hard with our 2 weeks thing and learning all the ropes and what does it take and what are we looking for. And the seniors and the juniors, those upperclassmen, that group, now there's, 8 and 4 is 12. So we got 12 of them, and they are really great leaders, good advice, good helpful criticism, encouraging words on what's going well, and it's been a really good group of people to be around.
New competitive cheer coach, Madeline Wells, letting her get kind of settled in before we have her rush her into the show and stuff. I know when you take a new position on, it's a lot of work, but I ask you this every season, Coach, just to remind people, how closely does competitive dance and cheer work together? And then what is the coordination between sideline cheer and the girls? Because I know a lot of them do all, or 2 of them, or all 3, right?
Right. So this year there's only 1 girl that does competitive cheer and competitive dance, and she's able to do that because we travel together to all the meets. As far as practice times go, dance team, we practice in the morning, and the cheer goes after school, so she doesn't overlap any of her practices, so she's able to do that really well. But then you mentioned the sideline, so there's 8 football cheerleaders, and all 8 of them are either on the competitive dance team or on the competitive cheer team. So that's a little bit of a working together. The coaches, ever since I've started, this is my 5th year, we've had a really close-knit working relationship that if they have an upcoming football game and they're not quite ready with starting lineup, I'm perfectly fine if the cheerleaders need to leave dance team and go to football for a little bit. Because in the end, it's all about the kids, and we just want them to feel comfortable and confident and do the best they can at whatever they're on the field or on the dance floor for.
Coach, August 30th in Watertown, first competition of the season for the team. Obviously, time is getting closer and closer for that competition. Obviously, feeling pretty good about where the girls are right now?
Yes. This past couple of weeks, we've been working hard on their endurance to be able to dance for 2 minutes and 15 seconds, 2 minutes, 20 seconds solid through. So that's been our focus. Today at the end of practice this morning, we talked about now we're going to put in the emotion into it. We talked about the songs that we have for POM. I kind of don't like to say this, but they're throwback songs from the 90s, which is when I was in high school. So it's throwback to my generation. It's terrible for me to think that I'm already that old.
You're not.
But I talked to them today about just how fun those songs were. And when we grew up and that song would come on the radio or that song was played at a dance, and how the energy that it brought and the fun part of it. My favorite one is we have Can't Touch This in there. So that's just kind of a fun thing for me, and I can tell that the girls can feel that energy. And then the song that we chose for jazz this year is Never Let Me Go by Florence and the Machine. And so kind of like different things, thinking about like memories that are good or family members or high school, like that's what they thought too. Like you never want to let go of that experience that you've had, and how can we portray that emotion on the floor when we're dancing our jazz dance, and what do we need to think about and put forward so that the audience can see the dancing because they're such good dancers, but also feel the dancing.
Well, that is a good point, and I love the song selection, by the way. That is awesome. And looking forward to seeing how the season all unfolds. Coach, as always, thank you for joining us. We'll catch up again next Saturday, and we'll be even closer to first competition. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Coach Stacey Reichen, Yankton competitive dance. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner. All right, that will wrap up the Coach's Corner here this Saturday morning. Thanks for tuning in to our first of the fall. Remember, next weekend on Saturday, be a live show. Have all the coaches that can make it in studio. Then we'll send you right into Yankton soccer action at Crane Youngworth Field. I want to thank all the coaches for taking the time, and to all of our sponsors. And to Pizza Ranch. They didn't provide pizza this week because we didn't need it, but we sponsored the Pizza Ranch phone line where I was able to catch up with all the coaches for this pre-recorded conversations. Have a great rest of your week, or weekend, I should say. Same time next Saturday, right here